KSR's Jack Pilgrim here at UK Pro Day alongside none other than Zack Geoghegan and Jacob Polacheck, where 52, I believe, team personnel and scouts were in attendance out of all 30 NBA teams to see the Kentucky Wildcats in action here at Pro Day inside Rupp Arena. Some good updates, some not so good updates, and still some major question marks, especially regarding injury updates. All eyes on Aaron Bradshaw and Ugonna Onyenso, who suffered broken feet and had them surgically repaired at some point or another. Aaron Bradshaw back in March having his injury, and then in August for Ugonna Onyenso. We kind of sort of got an update that the goalposts continued to shift on Ugo and Aaron Bradshaw. What did we hear from John Calipari tonight, Zach?
We heard a lot of different things, apparently, from obviously we were here. We didn't get to actually hear what Calipari was saying, but it kind of started off as 5, 6, maybe 7 weeks we're looking at for Ugonna and Aaron, I think. It does sound like Visic is going to be here tomorrow, though. He didn't really say anything about Big Blue Madness and how that's going to go, if he's going to participate in that. Clearly, the other two bigs, Aaron and Ugo, will not. But it looks like we're shooting for around maybe after the Champions Classic, I think, to get those two back. If we're just going to kind of go off what Cal is saying with these injuries, which normally he just says he hasn't seen them. Now he's actually giving injury updates. So, do we trust them? Kind of how is that? Should we buy into what Cal's saying, or what does Dr. Jack think?
A little bit of a moving target here. It from my feel, it felt like, Jacob, 4 to 6 weeks-ish for a return to practice potentially, and then he brought up December randomly. So it kind of feels like a 4 to 6 week return to practice timeline, and then December is when we'll see both of them back on the game floor. What does that mean for the team? How much would that hurt not having your 2-7? I believe in the same broadcast, he said, if you don't have an interior presence, your team is a fraud. Not the thing that you want to hear ahead of basketball season, potentially not having them till December. Yeah, that's definitely not something you want to hear. Maybe you can get by for a little bit with a small ball Trey Mitchell. The real question with Visic, how much of an impact can he make early on? You've got some bodies that you can put there, but how effective they're going to be is yet to be seen. So you want those guys back, obviously, very soon. So hopefully the best of that timeline works.
4 weeks. Yeah. 7/December that we were given.
And if you're going small, Adu Thiero is going to be one of those guys that you would potentially need in that small ball four. He rolls his ankle tonight. John Calipari says doesn't really provide an update on what that looks like, but
looked very minor.
He rolled his ankle. He was out the rest of the event. And then Joey Hart comes in and decides to hit every single shot that he takes. Cal said that there were scouts asking him after the event saying, who the heck is this number 20? What did you think of Joey Hart's performance?
Well, he definitely came in and surprised me. I don't think literally any of us, thought that he would come out there and play as much as he did. But unfortunately, due to Adu, he was able to step in there. And I think I haven't counted, but I'm sure he made 8, 9, 10 threes, something like that. So he was shooting at will. He was shooting with guys in his face. And, he made them. So if he's impressing 52 scouts, you did something right, I guess. But, yeah, not good with Adu, but I think it was definitely just more precautionary. He had like a small light limp and just went right back. So I'm sure he'll be fine in that sense.
Another individual who made just about everything that he took, and I think that's going to be something that we'll see quite often this season. Antonio Reeves, shoot 'em all, Antonio, man. He was proving once again that his return this offseason, Jacob, was probably the biggest offseason decision of in recent months. He's going to be, for my money, Kentucky's leading scorer, and if he shoots 45% from three this year, I think Kentucky's going to be just fine. Yeah, 45% from three would be very good. And I think he has a great chance to be Kentucky's leading scorer. We saw it in Canada. He's going to be a huge part of this offense for Kentucky. And obviously you've got the freshmen in there, but having a veteran presence like Antonio Reeves should help those guys a lot. Robert Dillingham's another guy that you heard really good things about. He was one of the guys that probably struggled more than most in Toronto. He comes back. I believe I saw somewhere that Cal said that he gained 23 pounds since he first arrived on campus.
That number jumps every time.
The number I had heard was 13 after Toronto. So
been in the weight room.
He has been in the weight room, but I was really impressed with the shiftiness, the ability to cut through and slash through to create scoring opportunities at the rim. Everything that you kind of hoped that he would be after the Toronto trip, he kind of put 2 and 2 together and was able to become that, at least tonight. I thought he was one of the clear standouts in 4-on-4 and a little bit of the 5-on-5 that we got to see tonight.
Yeah, and especially in the 4-on-4, you saw him. And in some of the 2-on-2 drills, Rob was really aggressive getting to the rim, had a lot of really nice just kind of finger roll type shots. He had one bad corner three that he kind of forced up there, maybe, early jitters with all the scouts in there, but he definitely settled in. I think, Jack, you even mentioned that he definitely looks a little bit stockier. He's honestly like my size, which I guess when I think about that, that kind of concerns me. But he definitely looked a lot better out there. Obviously, he's a lot better basketball player than I am. And I think Justin Edwards and Reed Shepherd both looked really good out there. Very aggressive from them as well. You could tell Justin has probably heard some of the talk about him potentially being, a top 5, maybe even the number 1 pick. And he went out there with a point to come out there and prove that he is, in that discussion. I definitely think he did a good job of that. Kind of the same thing with Reed Shepherd. We saw DJ Wagner do what he does, which is just soar as fast as he can down the sidelines, and he was beating pretty much every guy that Kentucky had out there. So those were some of my standouts, kind of go off topic from Justin Edwards and Rob, but I liked what we saw from a few of those guys for sure.
I feel like you're not hearing a whole lot of private buzz and scoop about guys like DJ Wagner, guys like Reed Shepherd, guys like Justin Edwards, because you kind of know what to expect from those guys. A guy that you don't hear a whole lot of, that was kind of one of the late signees, Jordan Burks was tremendous tonight as well, really kind of fitting in that dunker spot role when guys collapse on Reed Shepherd or DJ Wagner or whomever. I always felt like Jordan Burks was right there to be the cleanup guy, and if you're not going to have Ugan Onyenso, you're not going to have Aaron Bradshaw for a minute, Jordan Burks is going to have to play, so it was good to see him play as well as he did tonight in front of scouts. His role's going to be pretty big early.
Yeah, there weren't stats being taken at this game, but Jordan Burks got a whole lot of rebounds, and he put a whole lot of putbacks back. And then to go off of that with him and Rob, 2 guys that maybe there were some questions coming in, maybe not the most polished guys. They look a lot more polished than high school, and they look like they're filling into their roles very well.
Yeah, it was an awesome night. Not a whole lot to take away from beyond what we saw in Toronto. Again, we know these guys are good. It's about how they're fitting in, how we're getting healthier. We didn't get a lot of those questions answered. Unfortunately, more questions about Adu Thiero. That sucks, but plenty to like. We get Big Z coming in on Thursday. We'll see what his entrance looks like. Do we have a prediction of what that's going to look like? How is Kentucky going to introduce Big Z to Big Blue Nation?
Personally, I don't think I can say, but our friend Drew Franklin has an amazing post on KSR's free site right now that you can go check out right now. You could do it. You could pause the video and go check it out and come back, and then we can finish up here. So that's what I would tell you, Jack.
I love the idea of having him come down from the rafters and do the John Wall dance, like just full circle moment. I would love to see that. I'm really excited for Big Blue Madness. Were you at Big Blue Madness last year, or is this your first one ever?
This will be my first ever Big Blue Madness.
So give me your hints. Give me your expectations. What do you want to see on Friday night here at Rupp Arena?
I'm really going into this blind. I just want to see, as a recruiting guy, I cover a lot of recruiting, so I want to see the recruits happy. I want to see this really being a push to land a really good class in 2024.
Yeah. Kansas guy. Should we talk about that for a second?
How does it feel to know that your program is no longer the all-time winningest in college basketball? Does it hurt you to the soul? Like, is that how do you feel right now?
It hurts. Don't get me wrong. It definitely hurts. I was planning on wearing my Kansas all-time winningest shirt, but I don't. That one might be put away for a little while, and I'm just happy that this whole situation is over because I was a freshman in the dorms when the whole FBI thing went down. I'm now 3 years out of college, so I'm glad this is wrapped up.
You're on the good side.
NCAA proves again it is spineless and has no backbone, and slap on the wrist for everything else, but always appreciate Kentucky being the all-time winningest program in college basketball. Jack Pilgrim here with Zack Geoghegan. Jacob Polacheck will be back after Big Blue Madness. We cannot wait from Rupp Arena.